And in this video, let's discuss about SA 710, Comparative Information, Corresponding Figures and Comparative Financial Statements. Hope all the standards which have been discussed till now are clear to you, and wait for the other videos also to share with your friends. Yeah. Now, let's understand the nature of comparative information first. The nature of comparative information is presented in an entity's financial statements depends upon the requirements of the AFRF. There are two broad approaches to the auditor's reporting responsibilities in respect of comparative information. One is corresponding figures, and another one is comparative financial statements. The approach to be adopted is often specified by law or regulation, but may also be specified in the terms of arrangement. The essential auditing reporting differences between these two approaches are: for corresponding figures, the auditor's opinion on the financial statement refers to the current period only, and for comparative financial, the audit opinion refers to each period for which the financial statements are prepared. So just to understand this, let's have a quick example. Okay, as per Indian Companies Act, or as per the general AFRF with which the companies prepare the financial statement, the companies are mandatorily required to give a corresponding comparative financial information for the immediately preceding previous year. Right. For example, if I prepare a balance sheet as on 31st March 2022, I have to give my users the balance sheet as on 31st March 2021 to enable the comparability between the two balance sheets. Right. So that will be forming part of comparative financial statement. Generally, the auditor's opinion will also be based on the, will also be there for the opening balances, right? That's what. So auditor's opinion refers to each period for which the statements are prepared. So for comparative financial statement, generally we are doing it without understanding that it is a comparative information, right? That's what. Okay. Now, corresponding figures are generally like, for example, for a particular matter is being given as a key audit matter. Okay, I'm going to refer to that to some notes to a financial statement. That note gives the let it be a salary expense or employee benefit expenses. So it has been given for some 5 preceding years. Okay, for all the previous year, I'm not going to give the audit opinion, but only for the current period, I'm going to give the audit opinion. That will be known as corresponding figure, just to enable the users to understand these are the figures of the previous year have been given that, and there is no audit opinion which is being given on such figures, last 5 years figures. Okay, now let's move on. Okay, give me a minute. Yeah, hold on just a minute. I will open the Saransh PDF. Okay, yeah. Scope of this essay. It deals with the auditor's responsibility regarding the comparative information out of a financial statement. When the financial statements of the prior period have been audited by a predecessor auditor or were not audited, the requirements and guidance of SA 510 regarding the opening balances shall apply. Now, what is the objective of the auditor? To obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence about whether the comparative information included in the financial statements have been presented in all material respects in accordance with the requirements for the comparative information in AFRF, and to report in accordance with the auditor's reporting responsibilities. So, definitions. Comparative information. The amounts and disclosures included in the financial statement in respect of one or more periods in accordance with the applicable financial reporting framework. Corresponding figures. Comparative information where the amounts and other disclosure for the prior period are included as an integral part of the current period financial statement and are intended to be read only in relation to amounts and other disclosures relating to the current period, referred to as current period figures. The level of detail presented in the corresponding amount and disclosure primarily by its relevance to current period figure. So all the example given is just for understanding purpose. Okay, just don't think that for every salary it will be corresponding figures, nothing like that. Okay, now comparative financial statements. Comparative information where amounts and other disclosures for the prior period are included for comparison with the financial statement of the current period, but if audited, are referred to their auditor's opinion. The level of information included in those comparative financial statements is comparable with the financial statements of the current period. So yeah, let's move on. Objectives we have discussed, right? To obtain sufficient evidence about the comparative information and to report. Then definitions we have discussed. Now audit procedures. The auditor shall determine whether the financial statement include the comparative information required by the AFRF and whether such information is appropriately classified. For this purpose, the comparative information agrees with the amounts and the disclosure presented in the prior period. The accounting policies reflected in the comparative information are consistent with those applied in the current period, and whether if there are any changes in the accounting policies, those changes have been adequately presented and disclosed and properly accounted for. If the auditor becomes aware of any possible material misstatement in the comparative information while performing the current period audit, the auditor shall perform additional audit procedures as necessary in the circumstances to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence to determine whether a material misstatement exists. If the auditor had audited the prior period's financial statement, the auditor shall also follow the relevant requirements. That is SA 560. Now, nothing but subsequent event. Right. As required by SA 580, that is return representation, the auditor shall request the return representation. Like for everything in the audit, we will request the return representation. Okay. Just whenever you don't know something, start like inquiry with the management. Last point will be obtain return representation with the management. This is only when you don't know some answer, exact answer. Okay. Not every answer. If you know the answer, also you don't write this as the first line. Okay. But whenever you don't know something, which is an audit procedure, so first start with I inquiry and then just end with obtain a return representation. Or else, if you want to write something on our own, but don't attempt in audit paper, but even then, it's like, okay, I really don't remember, but I have to attend that question. If that be the case, if the audit procedure question is being asked, mark that to ICAI ORR. Okay, that is inquiry, inspection, like we have right observation, recalculation, reperformance. Link with that. Okay. Now, corresponding figures. Corresponding figures are presented. The auditor's opinion shall not refer to the corresponding figures except in the circumstances prescribed. Okay, if the auditor's report on the prior period as previously issued include a qualified opinion or disclaimer, some modified opinion, the matter which gave rise to modification is unresolved. Okay, then the auditor shall modify the current period's financial statement. Okay, if the last year's modification, prior period's modification matter is not resolved, then he has to include a modification to the current period's audit opinion also. Okay, in the basis of modification to opinion paragraph, he should state the facts. Now, if the auditor obtains an audit evidence that material misstatement exists in the prior period financial statement on which an unmodified opinion has been issued, and the auditor shall verify whether the misstatement has been dealt as per the AFRF, and if that is not the case, the auditor shall express. Okay, see, there are two cases could be there. Okay, that's what I have discussed till now. First case is that last year itself is a modified report, and current year also such modification matter is not resolved. Then I will also issue a modified report. Okay, last year without identifying the misstatement, I or some other auditor has given a okay, I have audited and I've given a unmodified opinion. Okay, so current year I have got to know about the matter and I have inquired it, and that is still unresolved. So I'm going to issue a modified report. So if the previous period were audited by a predecessor auditor, then okay, that we have to refer okay to the predecessor auditor's report only if permitted by law and regulation, and then shall state in the other matter paragraph, like one emphasis of matter paragraph, another matter paragraph. Like in the other matter paragraph, I have to state that the financial statement were audited by a predecessor auditor and type of opinion and the date of such report. Okay. Now, prior period financial statement is not audited. What should I do now? The prior period financial statements were not audited. The auditor shall state in another matter paragraph. The corresponding figures are unaudited. This statement does not, however, relieve the auditor of the requirement to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. The opening balances does not contain a material misstatement, right? Because if the opening balances has some material misstatement, the same will affect the current period's financial statement. Now, comparative financial statement. When the comparative financial statements are presented, the auditor's opinion shall refer to each period for which the financial statements are presented and on which the auditor opinion is expressed. Okay. Prior period financial statement is being audited by a predecessor auditor. If the financial statement of the prior period was audited by a predecessor auditor, in expressing an opinion on the current financial statement, the auditor shall state in another matter paragraph that the financial statement were prepared by a predecessor auditor, the opinion, and the date of the report. If the auditor concludes a material misstatement exists, he should give a um, on the predecessor auditor had previously reported without modification. The auditor shall communicate the misstatement, and if the prior financial statement are amended, then okay, he should and the predecessor auditor agrees to give a new report on the amended financial statement, the auditor shall report on the current period only. Okay, else you have to report on the prior period also. Prior period financial statement not audited. If the prior period financial statement were not audited, the auditor shall state in the paragraph that the comparative financial statement are unaudited, but does not relieve his responsibility from confirming, that is obtaining sufficient appropriate audit evidence that the opening balances does not have a material misstatement. Now, return representation, everywhere I have to get it right. I have to get the return representation to make the management responsible, and also to reaffirm that the return representation it issued previously to the prior period are still valid. Okay. Now, the auditor's opinion does not refer to the corresponding figures because the auditor's opinion in the current period financial statement as a whole include the corresponding figures. Okay. Now, modification the auditor's report on the prior period unresolved. When the auditor's report on the prior period as a previously issued include a qualified opinion which is not resolved, the auditor's opinion on current period need not refer to the see wait. When it is properly accounted, then need not refer. When it is unresolved, unresolved, that unresolved matter that gave rise to modification may not be relevant to the current period figures. When the auditor opinion on the prior period as previously expressed was modified, the unresolved matter that gave rise to modification may not be relevant to the current period figures. Nevertheless, a qualified opinion may be required on the current period financial statement because of the effects or possible effects of the material misstatement. Now, misstatement in the prior period financial statement. When the prior period financial statement are stated have not been amended and an auditor's report thereon has not been issued, but the corresponding figures have been appropriately dealt with as per the applicable financial reporting framework, the auditor may include an emphasis of matter paragraph. Okay, then prior period financial statement audited by a predecessor auditor. We have an example there. Okay, now comparative financial statement. Reference in the auditor's opinion. Because the auditor's report on the comparative financial statement applies to the financial statement for each period presented, the auditor may express a qualified or adverse opinion or disclaimer of opinion. Illustration we can see there. Okay. Opinion on prior period financial statement differs from the previous opinion. When reporting on the prior period financial statement in connection with the current period's audit, or opinion expressed in the prior period financial statement may be different from the opinion previously expressed if the auditor becomes aware of any circumstances that materially affect the financial of a prior period during the course of the audit of the current period. In some circumstances, the auditor may have additional reporting responsibilities designed to prevent the future reliance on the auditors previously issued a report on the prior period financial statement. Prior period financial statement audited by a predecessor auditor. The predecessor auditor may be unable or unwilling to revise the auditor's report on the prior period financial statement. Another matter paragraph may indicate that predecessor auditor reported on the financial statement of the prior period before amendment. In addition, if the auditor is engaged to audit and obtain sufficient appropriate evidence to be satisfied as to appropriateness of the amendment, the auditor's report shall also include the following paragraph. What is that? As a part of our audit of the current year, we have also audited the adjustments described in Note 10 that were applied to the amended the 2020X1 financial statement. In our opinion, such adjustments are appropriate and have been applied properly. We were not engaged to audit or review the last year's, but we have done it. Okay, and we don't express an opinion as a whole on that. Okay, now let's have look at it. Okay, now first one example is for corresponding figures. Okay, the auditor's report on the prior period as previously is to include a qualified opinion. So last year's is a qualified opinion and it is still unresolved and it is material. How we are going to report? Yeah, let's see. See. Okay, let's read the the opinion and the basis. Okay, in our opinion, the except for the effects, so it is a qualified opinion. Okay, now gives a true and fair view. Now, as discussed in note 10 of the financial statement, no depreciation have been provided in the financial statement which constitute a departure from the accounting standards referred. And then this is a result of decision taken by the management at the start of the preceding financial year and causes us to qualify our audit opinion on the financial statement relating to that year based on slightly method of depreciation. Such its annual rate and the loss for the year should be increased by so and so amount. Property, plant, and equipment should be reduced by so and so amount, and the accumulated loss should be increased by so and so amount. Now, this is how we will give. For example, now corresponding figures. Here it is a prior period, okay, qualified opinion. Modifications are unresolved, but it is immaterial, okay, immaterial. Then, so we state that because we were appointed as auditors of the company during 2080, we were unable to observe the counting of physical inventories at the beginning of that period or satisfy ourselves concerning those inventories by alternative means. Since opening inventories affect the determination of results of the operations, we were unable to determine whether the adjustments to the result of operations and opening retained earnings might be necessary for 2080. Our opinion on the financial statement for the year ended 31st March was modified accordingly. Our opinion on the current financial statement is also modified because the possible effect of this matter on the comparability of the corresponding figures. Now, see, it was audited by predecessor auditor, and auditor is permitted to refer the predecessor auditor report. Then we will refer it such a way. That's just examples, right? So let's have an example for comparative financial statement and close this session. Okay. Audit is required to report on both current and previous year. Okay. The financial reporting framework used in preparing the financial statement other than accounting principles. However, the audit is performed as per ICAI standard on auditing. The auditor's report on the prior period, as previously issued, includes a qualified opinion and it is unresolved and its material. So let's see how it has been dealt in the basis of qualified opinion paragraph. As discussed in note 10, note of present same to same. Okay. Understood? Or else I have to read it. I will read it. Okay, once. As discussed in note 10 to the financial statement, no depreciation has been provided for in the financial statement, which constitutes a departure from the accounting standards referred to in subsection or so and so section. Based on the annual rates for building and equipment as under, and the loss for the year should be increased by so and so amount, and property, plant, and equipment should be increased by so and so amount. Accumulated depreciation should be increased by so and so amount. Great. So with this, we have completed SA710. Hope you have understood it properly. Stay tuned for more essay revision videos, and yeah, take care. Bye.